New York, Paris, Singapore, Los Angeles, Vienna, Brussels, Sydney, Hong Kong, Chicago, Berlin, Miami, London, Cape Town. The voice of swing is known all over the world. Duncan Galloway.
I can't dance, got action packs.
Before his concert with the Pasadena Roof Orchestra in the Philharmonic in Munich, in the Cultural Center Gasteig, we met the international star nearby in the Deutsches Museum, the biggest technical museum of the world. The sympathetic British gentleman who is not only at home in the most important venues of the world, but also loves the great atmosphere in the small jazz clubs, intoned the song of the 30s, which corresponded with the surroundings.
Me and Jane in a plane, far away from the crowds. Me and Jane in a plane, soaring up to the clouds. In my two-seater, what could be sweeter? I'll have St. Peter step inside and bless the bride. I'll be keeping my eye on the man in the moon. He's a dangerous guy when he starts to spoon. My kisses I'll shower, 1,000,000 an hour. No traffic up will ever stop me and Jane in a plane.
Mr. Duncan Galloway, well known as multi-talented entertainer, as actor, singer, musician, how did your career start?
As a very innocent young choir boy. That's all changed now, but that's how I started off.
Mr. Galloway, you have been on stage in the most important venues all around the world. What are your plans for the near future?
Well, I guess to carry on the bigger venues like the Philharmonie in Munich today, the Berlin Philharmonie, or the Hamburg Musikhalle. I love playing those places, but I also love the smaller venues. I think there's a lot to be said for some of the jazz festivals that we do, which are sometimes very small rooms, but the atmosphere is always is great normally by jazz festivals, and I enjoy doing those. So I guess really it's nice to keep both things in the air, if you like, to carry on doing the bigger venues, maybe with Pasadena, but also with the sextet, with the Rhythm Boys, the London Hot Rhythm Boys, to actually carry on doing smaller venues as well.
Duncan Galloway has a large musical repertoire at his disposal. He creates his own shows. He founded his own group, the London Hot Rhythm Boys. He is an actor in musicals. He has made his name as a jazz musician. He comes on stage with various big bands, and he is the frontman of the Pasadena Roof Orchestra.
How do you cope with this packed timetable?
I don't sometimes. Well, the problem is, in an ideal world, you could probably do 2 weeks Pasadena, 1 week London Hot Rhythm Boys, and it would all go into the calendar perfectly, but it doesn't work like that in the real world. Sometimes, in fact, it always seems the same thing, that as soon as you take one thing and you make a block with the time, something else comes in exactly the same day. It's frustrating, very frustrating sometimes. But then, I guess on the other hand, you have to think, well, it's nice to have that problem rather than to have too few, because then otherwise you'd be thinking, well, I've got to do something. So it's a nice problem to have, but it doesn't always, as I say, sometimes I think someone up there is organising everything on the same day, and then it all happens at once, and then nothing for a week or so.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a king and foolish.
Duncan Galloway The Entertainer of the Year in Germany has reached an incredible amount until now.
What are you still dreaming of?
What do I dream of? I've been, yeah, like I say, I've been very lucky in that I do, certainly from the travelling point of view, I'd hate to have a mileometer on my body. I must have done millions of kilometres now with trips to Australia, world trips on a cruise ship. No, if I was a car, I wouldn't be worth very much. I don't think I'd have too many miles. But I dream about, I suppose, really for me sometimes a holiday is time at home, and time at home these days is playing golf a lot of the time as well. I dream of lowering my golf handicap. That's a good dream to have as well. That doesn't mean to say I don't like travelling still. I still enjoy it, but I've been very lucky with being able to sort of travel and work. I've been to the Antarctic, I've been to the Far East, Near East, Australia, more or less everywhere. So that's my dream.
Is there anything you could say to your current solo CD?
Yeah, I was very lucky with my solo CD in that I had an A-list, if you like, of musicians that I wanted to get together, and I thought, well, they're not all going to be able to make that, so I'll do a B-list as well. But I got the whole A-list, which was great, and that I took that as a very good compliment, in that it was to watch them actually recording it and actually in the same studio, this dream team that I had in my head, to actually see it happen was really interesting and good fun to do as a project. And the way they kind of solved the musical problems together, I thought was a privilege to work with, so to speak. I was very pleased with that, and the results are great. I mean, it's a fabulous 8-piece band.
What's the most important thing in your life?
The most important thing, I guess you'd have to say, would be, well, health and happiness, and love, I suppose, is one of the most important things in the world. But I'm always very conscious of the health thing, really. I guess I'm always very grateful that my health is okay. For example, last week I was in Switzerland, and there's a great trumpet player there, but he has not problems, I mean, he copes with it very well, but he's in a wheelchair. He had an accident with a hang glider maybe 10 years ago now, and I always, look at people worse off than yourself, and you're always very grateful for health and happiness, and you're always very grateful for love, because that's always very important as well.
With your fans, we are looking forward to your next concerts. Break your leg, Mr. Duncan Galloway.
Duncan Galloway, the voice of swing. He loves the music. He lives the music. Duncan Galloway is the music. Thank you, Mr. Duncan Galloway.